Yo, what's good guys, it's Zen. I'm the owner of Element, and today we have a special video for you guys. Today we are back with the Player Spotlights. This is a series where we talk to prominent members of the community, like content creators or people who pop off in tourneys. We learn a little bit more about them. Let's hop right into it. Alright, we are here with Marcus right now. Welcome to Player Spotlights. This is a series where we showcase some of our longtime community members. Welcome. What's going on?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, we chilling right now. We just got off the scrim. Marcus just ended stream and you were popping off a little bit. I was dying early, having a good time.
Yeah, man, the scrims were super fun today. I had a great time, honestly. It was, they're always fun. They're always fun though. But today in particular, I don't know, something stood out and I just was having a real good time.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let me let all the viewers know this is the scrim right before the tournament, so everyone's energy was high and we're definitely killing it. But we are here for you today. So what's going on? Why don't you introduce yourself? Let the people know who you are, some of your Spellbreak background, or even things before then. Who is Marcus?
Yeah, I'm Marcus, aka Apostle. You can just call me Marcus. I do mainly Spellbreak content creation and have been dabbling more and more into the competitive side lately, just because I can't help myself, man. It's so much fun. Yeah, I've been doing Spellbreak or playing Spellbreak since December of 2018 and have been making videos basically since the NDA went down. I think it was February, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so since February, I've been making videos on YouTube about twice a week and just putting out guides and gameplays and streaming all the time and just loving the game, honestly.
Dang, that's what's up. So you've been playing way back in 2018. That's pre-alpha. That's crazy. So what is like the biggest difference between playing then and now, would you say? Like pre-alpha to current patch for you?
Oh my god. Biggest difference? I mean, the game it's completely different.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things. I guess class system, right? Like there used to be dual classes back then, and now it's more of a single class, bigger impact.
Yeah, for sure. Like yeah. Like before, you would pick two classes and you would get passives almost, but it wouldn't really change your playstyle necessarily.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely like the solo class builds better because it's like if I get bored of playing Frostborn, I just switch to Toxic and I have to play completely differently. Whereas before it was like I'd pick something and it would give me like something sort of different, but I was overall playing the same no matter what. So I think I definitely prefer this.
Yeah, so I'm curious, what did you like run back then, and like maybe explain to them what the class is, because a lot of them have never even experienced these like old classes. Like, what did you main back in pre-alpha?
What did I main?
If anything,
man,
or just anything you like.
I mean, I guess mainly I played Tempest. Back then, you didn't have to run Tempest to wind jump. So everybody would run wind in their right hand, and then you'd gauntlet swap your left hand, and that was basically the meta.
Yeah.
But I basically run a lot of Tempest just because it was very similar to how it is now, like increased damage while you're in the air, stuff like that, and I just had a lot of fun with it. And then I would switch off between like Frostborn, Pyro, what was the one where you could find better loot?
Oh, Scavenger. Yeah, you'd get extra items,
Scavenger,
extra potions.
And then we had Scholar, which was faster rune charges.
Oh yeah, I started at like 50% rune cooldown.
Yeah, it was so good. I would basically just run Tempest and then switch off my second class, depending on what I wanted to do. And then I think everybody ran Blink back then, which was a 3-charge short burst movement rune. And back then, if you weren't running Blink, you weren't playing Spellbreak. So
yeah, basically, you could dodge up to 3 times within like it was just ridiculous. It was definitely ridiculous.
It was a lot of fun, but it was just too strong, man.
Yeah, like a lot of, especially the competitive side, a lot of us definitely miss it. But just compared to other runes, like it was like, why would you pick anything else? Hopefully we see it some way, somehow in the future. But
yeah, it would definitely be nice. I could definitely see him bringing it back in like another game mode or something.
Yeah, like a competitive mode with only Blink or something, like competitive 1v1s or something.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I actually ran 4 gauntlets back then too for the longest time.
Oh,
I think I ran 4 gauntlets then too.
I know
Yeah,
a good amount of people that did that as well. Actually, I did as well. The 4 gauntlets. Which ones did you take?
I did wind, frost, fire, and toxic.
Yeah, same. Literally same. Literally same. For the consistent damage, and then you get the DF combos in there.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I liked that a lot.
I don't know what it was about the game that like made that more viable. Do you think wind was obviously necessary, but do you think there were like more potions? Because I feel like potions was not as much of an issue as it is now.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like just since release the potions have been so scarce lately.
Right.
And that's what's like, it makes it such a hard choice for me personally between recovery and thirsty, because I think I take thirsty on most classes, but at the same time, if you can't find potions, you're just like, it's a useless talent. So
That's what I'm saying.
so potion economy is so much more important now.
100%. And like also final circle in general, like sometimes there's just not time to pot, and sometimes it's just down to damage trading and you can't dodge. Like it's just sandwich, so it's just sometimes it's who has recovery, honestly, when you're straight damage trading like that. So it is a tough choice. But yeah, it's interesting to hear that you played Tempest all the way back then, because I was gonna ask, like, what is your favorite class since the class has changed in 30? Like, what do you main nowadays?
I think I still main Tempest when they changed it, but it was much worse back then. It was much more floaty. I mean, it's still pretty floaty, but it didn't have like the horizontal boost that it has now, which actually feels really good. And then I switched to Frost, I think. I switched out a lot. I did Tempest, I believe I switched to Frost, and then Proletariat pulled me on for the Conduit video, the like ultimate Conduit video.
Oh yeah.
I'd never played Conduit at all. And then after that, I like made that towards the end of Beta 2, I think. Was Beta 2 or Beta 1? I forget when that released. But basically I made some Conduit, and then I've kind of gone back to Frostborn now. Oh, I played a good bit of Toxic too, so I've kind of done a little bit of those 4 throughout everything and just jumped back and forth. And I still jump between, I think in pubs, Tempest is my most played, and then I normally play Frost and Scrims. But lately, just being on East, it's like the Alacrity Trail with the ping, you like get a lot of stutters. So I was trying to play Tempest today and Scrims, and was actually doing pretty well with it, surprisingly. I usually get smashed, and then, yeah.
Yeah, so to like latch onto one of those, because you main so many classes, which is definitely a unique aspect of you. To latch onto one, like what do you like about Tempest so much? Do you think it gives you like a different play style? Like do you feel like how does it make you feel kind of?
It's like the montage class. That's how I would explain it. Like just wind jumping up or updrafting and then spinning around and hitting frost shots. Even if it's not like an intentional 360, just like snapping onto people, it just looks and feels so cool to play.
Yeah.
And I think people really enjoy watching it, and it's just a mobility for sure. That's why I really latch on to Tempest and Frost.
Yeah,
but that's
sure.
like, yeah, I mean, just
especially since they buffed it, those horizontal off the walls. Sometimes you just, in certain locations, you just have pure dominance like Banehelm.
yeah, exactly. It's so you can move so fast, and I've been practicing my ready hopping a bit, and I think I have it down to where I can get it pretty much 100% of the time now, and that feels so good.
Oh yeah, let me see if I can show him a clip right now of what that is. Kind of. You want to explain what the ready hop is?
Yeah, so ready hopping is basically you crouch, you throw down a tornado, you crouch, dash, and then right at the base of the tornado, you release, crouch, and wind jump. And what that does is it gives you the reduced gravity that the wind jump gives you, but also gives you the updraft, so you launch extra high up in the air.
Oh, that's huge. You know what? I didn't even know that's why. That makes perfect sense now. Like you get the reduced gravity. Wow. I knew how to do it, but I didn't understand why. That's what's up. That's what's up. So
yeah, and I found out today that the crouching in it is kind of extra. Like it's just like a cool look to it.
Oh, true. Like FOV.
Yeah, so like the camera kind of gets stuck at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, I don't think you have to crouch. I haven't tested it. I just found that out like 20 minutes ago. But I'll have to try that out without crouching.
Yeah, that's what's up. Okay, so you say you started in 2018. So when did you like first take interest in competitive, and like when did you get started with that? Like your first scrim, your first tournament?
Oh my god, I have no idea. Honestly,
No problem.
man, it's been... I mean, it had to be one of the early Element tournaments.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to get better. I mean, when I first started, I was getting smashed by, why am I blanking on his name? Oh, he stopped playing now. I was getting smashed by... I'm blanking on his name. I had a rival in the beginning that was just crushing me every game, and it was just my goal to get as good as him and kill him. And another one was like Toaster, for sure, was a different person who I ran into all the time and would get crushed by. So, I mean, that really... Just getting crushed sparked my, like, competitiveness into it. Actually, like, starting out in the game, I really didn't have that much interest in the game. I was coming in just 100% content creation side, and I saw an opportunity and was just like, I'm gonna try this game out and make some content for it. And then once I started like working on videos and stuff, I actually fell in love with like the combat of the game, and it's been uphill ever since. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it really was.
So you say you started making the content in on NDA release in February. Like how?
Yeah, I actually had content made before that and just dropped it like the day of.
That's what's up. You added stockpile. Okay. So, and you've been popping off recently. Like, how does that feel? Like, how does it feel to be kind of like the face of Spellbreak on YouTube right now? I know it's like a bold claim, but I mean, it's there. The numbers are there. Like, is there any pressure that comes with that? Like, how does that feel? You feel accomplished?
It feels good. I mean, it definitely feels accomplished. It didn't feel real. Like, it's definitely slowed down a little bit now, and I think it'll pop up again for sure. But during that, like, this last month has been, I think it was almost 3 million views.
Whoa. Whoa, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and gained 20 million, or not 20 million, 20,000, I think like 25,000 YouTube subs, and then like 17,000 Twitch followers. So I went from like under 4,000 Twitch followers up to 20,000 in the last month. So it's been unreal, I guess. Like it doesn't feel like it hasn't hit me. Or it hits me in like waves. Right. So it's definitely weird, and just blowing up from an average of 30 viewers to we were averaging like over 600, and we're in the thousands for a lot of time was a learning process, and I had to learn quickly because I had to manage chat. So luckily I had mods to help me, and then I had to also like try to be a little bit less toxic. You know, like I can't, like if I'm shitting on people, they feel extra bad because there's so many people watching, even though it's like, in my mind, it's just like playful banter, but the way it comes off is it's like, oh, this guy's being a jerk in front of everybody. So I definitely have to like when I do, it's my, when I tell everybody this, I'm like, if you want to be friends with me, I'm gonna have to be able to make fun of you, right? Like, yeah, friends unless they can make fun of you.
Yeah, that's how you relay your affection, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So I have to, whenever I make fun of my friends, I always have to clarify and show some love after. So it's definitely a change, because my friends know I'm showing love, but then chat's like, oh, this guy's just being a dick.
For sure. So there's definitely some adjustments to be made in terms of like all the new eyes on you. So like, how do you do you find yourself like spending extra time? Like, do you have to like juggle things now? Like, do you have to go through hoops, or is it still kind of like just easy, you know, go with the flow? I'm just streaming. You feel like it's a pretty good time?
Actually, I feel like it's been honestly almost easier.
Wow. Okay.
Just because there's always something, you know, when you're streaming and you get those like lulls in chat and you're kind of just like, okay, I don't really know what to talk about.
True.
That like doesn't really happen as much anymore.
Yeah.
And so that it definitely makes it easier to have a constant conversation the whole time. A lot of it can be the same, like repeated questions, which can get a little bit tedious, but it's still, I feel like it's a bit easier, honestly.
For sure, yeah, I could definitely see that. Just always something to talk about. There's always like new faces, and even if you're repeating yourself, you know, it's easy. It's easy. You just kind of go with the flow. I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So
yeah, you can just roll with the topics and think about stuff a little bit more, like especially repeating yourself on a lot of topics. Like they'll bring up like, why do you like this class? And then you kind of have to dive deeper and deeper into it to keep it fresh for yourself.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It definitely gives me a deeper understanding of the game.
For sure, yeah. And you got all those new people, so you've been popping off lately. So do you have like any advice for any content creators kind of looking to get into it, looking to get some eyes on them in the Spellbreak community?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that I always tell people is Twitch is not where it's at. Like you're not really going to grow on Twitch on your own. And I think you guys over at Element have seen that as well and have been popping off with like the YouTube videos and putting a lot of effort into other areas. Your Instagram's awesome. And it's just like, if you try to just grow on Twitch alone, I just scrolled through it while I think it was like late last night and there was like hundreds of people. So if you don't already have a following and you're not at the top of like the category, it's really hard to get noticed. So I try to tell everybody, just put your effort into like other areas where you can get discovered, like YouTube, Instagram, stuff like that.
For sure. Okay, so we recently saw you take place in the qualifier. Like, how was that experience? The first event after release.
So it was actually really. It was one of the worst times that I've played, to be completely honest.
No!
In the qualifiers. I haven't, like, I didn't qualify. I'm not gonna lie, but it was. I didn't get a lot of practice in scrims or anything because of all of YouTube and Twitch and everything popping off. It's like hard to play competitively and do all that stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
So I was really focused on my content for these first few weeks. And then literally like 3 days before the qualifiers, I think maybe I played in 2 scrims and I think one of them was like halfway. So my confidence just wasn't there. I hadn't really played on the East servers or the EU servers. And it was just, I just hadn't had the practice. It was fun. I had a good time. And I actually went back and watched a lot of the VODs for the other qualifiers, and that's been making me want to play more competitive lately. But I'm really looking forward to, well, first off, watching the tournament tomorrow, but then the qualifiers and the tournaments in the future, now that I feel like I can be a little bit more competitive oriented.
Yeah, for sure. And we have that trio tournament coming up, so I'm hoping to see you make some action there. Remember you before on your conduit with Chris and one other person. You guys were doing pretty well. You were always in the spotlight. You're running that Spellslinger build. So we're hoping to see you come out again. Yeah.
Yeah, it would definitely be fun. I don't have a set trios team. I've been playing a little bit with Plop, a little bit with Bastion. We played with Twilight. So we're still trying to put together a team and figuring out who I'm going to play with. But I'm definitely interested in playing in some of those trios.
For sure. So what would you say like your goal is with competitive Spellbreak? Like, do you want to be the best? You want to just have fun? You want to win a little money? You want to make some content? Like, what makes you say, you know what, I want to go out there and participate in this tournament?
So I'm, as you can tell, I'm very much content focused. Right. So I don't really, like, I would like to, just like the ego in me is like, I want to be the best, but I know at the same time I'm not really going to be able to put the time into it. So I would like to be able to compete at a high level and be able to compete with the best of the best players, for sure. Just for my personal gain, I guess, and just my personal like drive. But it also, like, with the potential like Twitch rivals coming up and other tournaments coming up, it's a very big opportunity on the content side as well. If I can play well in front of, especially at Twitch rivals, if they end up doing it, if I can play well there, it will bring a lot more to my name, I feel like, and kind of solidify me as a top player.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I
can definitely see
definitely
that.
like, yeah, I definitely want to be involved in that conversation of top players. I just don't know. We'll see in the future how much time I'm able to put into it and if I'm able to transition my content towards it more. But at this point, it's like I just want my name in that conversation, you know.
Yeah,
And then we'll go for the top from there. See where I'm at once I get in that conversation.
for sure, for sure. And I think you could definitely do it. I'm thinking back to one of the qualifiers a while back. Your snipes are just insane. Like you get a good position and then you hold it and then you just do consistent damage with your frost, and it's lethal. It's lethal. It's game ending. So I've seen it. I've seen what you can do, and yeah, I definitely believe it. Just put the time in. And working on that, working on like being the best. What would you say is like your strength? Like, what do you think you consistently do on all of your classes? What is the Marcus playstyle?
I think, honestly, I've always been like I said, for like why these classes are my favorite, I've always been very movement oriented. So I tried to be very good at like juking people or like baiting people into traps and stuff like that. I'm not much of like a full W key player, and I feel like it's kind of hard to be, especially since I play Frostborn the majority of the time when I'm competing. So it's like a lot of it is pulling people into you, popping your flash freeze, freezing them, and then like toxic slapping them or hitting them with the frost snipe and then pushing onto them. So I feel like my movement and my baiting is kind of where I tend to stand out as a player, and also I think my frost shots are pretty solid as well.
For sure, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Frost Gauntlet is like a staple in almost all of my builds. I'm not much of I could hit like fireballs and stuff like that, but if I do decide to go like fire on Tempest or toxic on Tempest, I tend to run Spell Slinger and always have that Frost to lean back on.
That's what's up. And what do you think it is about that? Like that burst damage, making them scared, and like you're dominating the fight now. Like, what about that Frost for you?
I mean, it gives you that range, right? The range is huge. But it comes back into like that baiting. If I can get somebody to come around a corner and I have a frost shot like ready for them as they come around the corner, I can like pull them into a doorway or somewhere where they don't have a whole lot of movement and make that shot easier. So it comes down to probably being like one of the best gauntlets to kite with, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just baiting people into frost shots, and I mean, it just feels so satisfying. How can you not like hitting a good frost shot?
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, the Tempest, the montage class, you got to get those frost clips in. Yeah. And you know what? It goes perfectly with your playstyle. You said you were kiting, you prioritize movement, so like yeah, like I can see how frost would definitely fit into that.
Yeah, 100%. It gets me into trouble sometimes though. I've been having to play slower. If you come into my stream during the scrims, I'm like, I can't be patient. Like I always got to be moving and doing stuff, and it's a lot of times in competitive, it's like just hold your position and defend the best spot that's in the final zone, or defend where you're at. And for me, it's like I always feel like I got to be constantly running around and dodging and stuff, and that ends up getting me into a little bit of trouble. But I've been working on it and trying to incorporate it into playing smart as well, and playing positioning a little bit better.
Yeah, it's definitely something to consider, and there's definitely like lessons to learn. Definitely an adjustment to be made. So like kind of on that note, there's a whole bunch of new players coming to the game right now, or looking for content, looking for competitive. Do you have any advice to them on like looking to improve or looking to make a name for themselves? You have any advice for like any new players?
I mean, being reflective is big. If you can stream, that's great, because you can go back and you could watch your mistakes. Also, you can have people in chat that are like, oh, you could have done this better, you could have done that better. It definitely helps to have stuff recorded and be able to look back on. and be able to make adjustments and see what you did right and what you did wrong, because in the moment it's usually if you're playing well, you're like 100% kind of zoned, no thoughts happening, and you don't realize exactly what you did. Whereas once you start putting an emphasis on what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, you can bring it up to the forefront and nitpick each thing that you want to improve upon. So like I just said with my movement, like I'm moving too much. So a big focus for me has been working more on positioning and playing the final zones a little smarter. So that's what I've been focusing on, and just find something like that and break it down and work on the individual aspects of it, and you'll improve in no time.
For sure. Well, I thank you a lot. I think that is a pretty good note to end it on. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. Do you have any last words, Marcus? What's up? You have any shout outs?
Shout out to you guys, honestly. Shout out to Element and everything you do. I have like a huge respect for all of you, your production quality, your casters, everybody behind the scenes, everybody who plays all the time. Like you guys are really like making this game, like it's taking it up to another level. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate everything you guys do.
Hey, thank you so much. We definitely appreciate that, and we're gonna keep it up. We just want to provide, a competitive space, a competitive environment, And I appreciate you. And I wish you all the best. I hope that you keep continuing to improve. I think you're a good face for Spellbreak. You definitely always have something to say for new players, and you're like, I like the community that you're building. So all the success for you.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Trying to keep a wholesome, helpful community around and bring people into this game that seems to not be so straightforward.
Yeah, for sure. And you didn't say it, so I'm gonna say it. You gotta follow Marcus on Twitch. This man is probably live right now. You gotta subscribe on YouTube if you aren't. You probably already are if you're on this channel. And yeah, Marcus, peace.
Later, man. Appreciate you.